Here are my thoughts on the 30th anniversary release. Since we are well into the season with a couple more months to go, the 30th anniversary release really refreshed the minds of a lot of players, including myself. I'll have this video split into two parts: the new activities and the new armor and weapons. Part 1. The new activities that dropped with the release include Dares of Eternity, which is the 6-man activity, Grasp of Avarice, the new dungeon, followed by a new social space called Xur's Treasure Hoard. Dares of Eternity is very refreshing, and I feel like it is much better than Astral Alignment for the season. Although it has only been a week since its release, I have played much more of it and I am still not tired of it. The amount of ads in each round, as well as the randomness of the rounds you get for spinning the wheel to see which ad type you will get, Fallen, Cabal, Hive, Taken, etc., is very good and it keeps it new. The thought that went into this activity is great and is what we need more in order to not get tired of playing the same thing for 3 months. Every ad type in this activity has 2 different bosses for every round, except the final boss round. The small thing where you can have 2 different bosses, even though it isn't a lot of variety, it keeps the game fresh because you don't know what you'll get. Another addition that was added was Star Horse's Favor. This buff is probably the best thing, as well as the most fun thing in the game. Once you get this buff, it slowly replenishes your heavy ammo for the remainder of the next round. The way you proc this buff is after the first room, you will get this jumping puzzle sort of thing, and if you fail, you don't get it. If you pass, you get the buff. It's pretty simple, and you only tend to mess up by accident. Another way to get it is after the second round, you are asked to stand on one of 3 places in order to proceed. One of these doors will open and they will lead to a boss fight. There's 3 separate bosses. One is Zydron the Minotaur, the other is Valos Taruk, Cabal, and the last but not least is Crota, if you can believe it. If you guess the correct door, you get Star Horse's Favor for the remainder of the boss fight, which is extremely useful for DPS. Now moving on to the dungeon. I've been waiting for this dungeon since the season drop because it would be so refreshing at this point, considering the season is going to be 5 months long or maybe more. Now doing the dungeon for the first time blind and saying it isn't funny is an understatement. There are multiple traps leading up to the first boss fight and it makes the playtime even more funny because they are unexpected. The traps are completely unexpected, but once you complete it a couple times you get the hang of it, so you won't keep dying to the same thing over and over again. The boss fights are pretty simple as you collect ingrams from the floor dropped by ads and they give you a debuff called Burden of Riches. Once you get it, you can go to the crystal and stand close to it as it deposits, and after a certain amount of time, once they're all deposited, the boss can be damaged. It's pretty simple through the whole dungeon and it's the same concept you have to use for every encounter. The final boss is also pretty simple as it is the same concept of collecting those ingrams to get the debuff. Once you collect about 50 or 60 of them, you can damage the boss. Just make sure you're paying attention to the timer when collecting the ingrams, as you only have 30 seconds to deposit them or you die. The dungeon is very refreshing to play, and the non-complexity of the boss fights, even on master mode, make for a much better time to play with your friends. A brand new social space. The new space looks amazing. After completing Dares of Eternity, it will drop you a treasure key as well as strange coins. Yes, strange coins from Destiny 1 are back, but they're used a little bit differently. I'll get to that in a second. Upon entering the social space, Xur is right at the front. You're able to level up Xur just like Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit. You level him up by completing Dares of Eternity, and let me tell you, the progress is slow. I've been doing it for 6 straight days, and I'm only at level 9. Now what do you do with strange coins? Well, you have the Star Horse. In his inventory, you can purchase bounties with strange coins, as well as you can use the strange coins to trade items and get packages that have new 30th anniversary weapons or armor. Now for the good stuff, the stuff you've been waiting for. We'll start with armor. There are a couple new armor sets that you can obtain from Dares of Eternity and Grasp of Avarice, but we'll just jump straight into it and the reason you're here. The only armor that really matters is the dungeon armor. If you complete the dungeon on normal mode, you get a normal armor just like any other you already have. But if you complete the dungeon on master mode, the armor is special. Now, this may not be useful for a lot of casual players, but for other people that actually need it, it would make sense to do multiple runs of Master to obtain it. Completing encounters on Master gives you an armor where it has a separate slot for your artifact mods, so you won't have to play around for 10 minutes setting up your mods before you do a Grand Master. It still uses the same energy that is needed, but the extra slot just for artifact mods is a great addition, and I advise people that need it to go get it because it will change the format of your armor setup for endgame activities. They also have a bunch of new ornaments. One is given to you right at the beginning, and one set you can obtain by purchasing them from the social space with treasure keys for each character. All the other ornaments you get from obtaining the armor first and then doing the whole synthweave stuff and so on and so forth. New weapons. We got a whole new load of weapons with this 30th anniversary drop, and we'll go through the most important ones to save time. Off the bat, Gjallarhorn. It is back and is good, like really, really good, and the catalyst makes it even better. The base perk of Gjallarhorn is insane. For any Gjallarhorn users in the game, because for any non-Gjallarhorn users in the game, it procs Wolfpack rounds. The catalyst lets you hold 2 in the mag, and the final blows with Wolfpack rounds spawn another missile where the ad died. All in all, a very good gun. The only thing I wish they had done is left it to be a final drop for Master Dungeon, because it would have been a chance drop and it would have made it more exciting when you get it, just like the Vex Mythal class. I'm sure not everyone has that, but when they get it, it's such a celebration, and it would be the same celebration just like people when they got the Gjallarhorn drops in D1. We also got another exotic drop called the Forerunner, which is a kinetic special sidearm. I haven't used it very much, so I don't know how good it is or isn't, but it's basically the Halo pistol. And from the gameplay I've seen with it, it seems like it's mostly a PvP weapon. On top of the Halo pistol, they have also added the Halo pulse rifle as well as the sword, which both look crazy and I love them. A bunch of new perks have also dropped with the new weapons, but one to keep note of is Eager Edge. This drops only on the sword, and what it does is you get increased lunge distance when first swapping to the sword for a short time. So this will bring a whole new thing to speedrunners and warlock skating, which will be nice to see since they patched the World Line 0. All in all, I think this drop was necessary because it is keeping the game alive until Witch Queen drops. Granted, the hype might die down in a couple weeks and it'll go back to see how it is, but nonetheless, the activities are fun, the dungeon is great, and Gjallarhorn. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on the 30th anniversary drop and how everything works. If you like this kind of content, be sure to let me know with a like and a comment. Don't forget to sub. I appreciate all of you, and we'll be back in the next video. See you soon. Peace.